All right. Looks like we are live, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay good because it does not look good for now. Maybe it will stabilize later on. Yeah, maybe now it's going to work fine. Because I saw there was a little bit of a problem with connection. Okay, let's check the sound now before we continue. Yeah, maybe yeah, now the sound is fine. There is a little bit of a problem, but okay, now it persists. Now it's still there. Why the hell is it happening? The connection is really good. Should not be happening at all. Okay, you know what? Let me check it here on my application. This is going fine. If this is going fine here, then we'll just roll with it. Should not be happening at all. Okay, you know what? Let me check it here. Oh yeah, whatever. Here it looks okay. So let me continue. Maybe this one will stabilize somewhere down the road. So yeah. So my name is Hightech, of course, and on this live streams I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what do I think about it, and of course, in the meantime, I discuss what Hightech meme coin is and why you might be interested in it. So yeah, Jesus is king, and let's go. Let's proceed. Hopefully everything will work well enough. So here some of you maybe will see that it's 8 frames per second, which should not happen really, and I don't know why that take place. So that was my concern. But the horizontal one, vertical one, sorry, seems like the vertical live stream seems like it's doing just fine. It even says excellent connection, so I guess it's not that bad. Maybe it's the let's say Rumble's fault here. Okay, so anyway, proceeding to what we are dealing with in the charts. The title of today's live stream, I mean, of this live stream, because this is the second live stream today. Get out now, with question mark, of course, and many exclamation marks. So yeah, it's unbelievable that Bitcoin dominance spiked up again like this. Why? Because it goes literally against the tides, right? It goes against nature, against the tides, and still manages to climb up. That's something absolutely amazing. I mean, take a look at it. And on the other hand, on the other end, the Aldrich chart dipped, which again kinda goes against the odds because here, as you see, this downtrending line is squeezing the price action against this thick zone of support. So because historically speaking, this one here has served us so well. So first guess will be that well, it will have to slip through here and actually go finally higher. And in the meantime, as you see, the market managed to dip it into that zone, which is very impressive. Very impressive on both sides, on Bitcoin dominance and on other chart. Like things are working now against the odds. Funny enough, as well, that this scenario which I was pointing out yesterday on S&P literally played out, right? So I said, because the CryptoX was laughing at that, the Clash of Titans, Kramer against Robert Kiyosaki, both guys that are always wrong, and this time they said they literally had the opposite stance on what's going to happen on Monday. So people were very curious, okay, so what's going to happen? And I said, you know, Kramer said on Monday market is going to bounce, so probably will open high and then dump. This is what happened, and but we will not dump very big. We will actually have some sort of bounces there and like recovery, and altogether like the whole day will be pretty, let's say, pretty much neutral, right? So this is what has been going on exactly, like literally on point. It's funny. It's funny you can derivate future basing yourself on two famous inverse indicators, in this case, Jim Cramer and Robert Kiyosaki. Very, very funny. But yeah, this is literally what is playing out in front of our eyes. As you see, we just go sideways, right? I mean, it's difficult to call it any other way if you account for this. I mean, if you take this into account, it's literally like we are moving in one range here, up and down, and nothing much out of out of this boundaries here. Not much else, right? But of course, the crypto market had to suffer with the sell-off. So again, we are having this worst type of correlation in which whenever the TradFi market dumps, we dump like twice as much, and whenever this one recovers or rallies, we do nothing, right? That's super annoying. That's really really annoying. It takes place, but yeah, what can you do, right? Cannot really do much about it. It is what it is. The good news is that at some point, we just reach oversold levels, and there won't be any weak hands in this market anymore. So a selling pressure nowhere to be found, meaning that the only way will be up, right? Now, mostly it's still inspired with derivatives exchanges. So, there is still liquidity on derivatives exchanges, as you see here. $312 million liquidated on derivatives on futures market for last 24 hours. And let me remind you once more, stay away from futures exchanges because that's how you will continue to end up. Ethereum almost $300 million liquidated. So very, very, very hefty liquidations. Let's take a look at liquidation heat map. So I don't know if you remember, but on the last live stream on 24 hours, we had quite a lot of liquidity beneath as above. On the weekly, it looked much more positive, like we should bounce. But on 24 hours, it was pretty even. So maybe after all, we should rely on 24 hours window here instead on the weekly. Because on the weekly, as you see, here this picture has not changed much. Like this is what we literally had. So as you see, there was much less liquidity here than we have here. Okay, so we'll see how it's going to proceed. Are we going to go back up until that 112, 113? I mean, the way it looks here kinda indicates it, but we'll see when it happens, right? So far, it could be also spoofing, right? It could be spoofing. That's a maneuver that is used by market makers oftentimes here, and that's why I always warn you that you should not be relying on what is shown here, like it's an oracle, like it's 100% certain. Let me quickly see how this live stream is going. Yeah, actually the vertical one is doing very well. The problems are with the horizontal one for whatever reason. So maybe it's a Rumble's problem, I suppose. Guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. That's always an option. That's why I prefer to live stream rather than upload the static content, so there is a chance for interaction. I think that's literally much more interesting than just recording a material and uploading it. So yeah. So what should we expect from the market? What should happen now? I will see. Seems like a lot will depend on TradFi. Generally speaking, fundamentally speaking, this month should be good. Maybe it's necessary to scare away the retail before we start rally. I mean, even more because we already have scared it quite a lot, and we must to scare it even more. Like at the beginning of November, give them a very strong beginning to, let's say, completely kill any expectations of November being good, because October is the most bullish month for crypto, statistically speaking, and it was bad. So the all hope was in November, let's say. So we already started bad, and maybe that will finally shake out those that are fearful and belong to weak hands category, right? And we finally get rid of all weak hands. Now, since we dipped into this zone of support here in between 195 and 150, 145/150, you should expect strong bounce at any given moment, right? Because this is literally what has been happening historically here. Whenever we managed to dip this low, we had that aggressive bounces pretty frequently. So yeah. I still believe that November is going to be a good month, personally, even though as of now it does not look like it. But I think we'll get there. I mean, definitely the worse it is, the closer we are to the bottom, right? The lower we are, the closer we are to the bottom. The bottom must be somewhere there. So while we are going lower, we are approaching it. That's, I think, one fundamental truth that we should all agree upon. So yeah, let's see how the rest of this week's gonna look like. It can be very, very surprising. Can be much, much better. Remember, I told you that we are up for a secondary dip after the Friday 10th. This one is definitely the deepest move since that time here. So maybe this is it. Maybe we finally got that secondary dip. Because you never know it in the plain sight. You always know it after it has already played out and the takeoff took place, right? So it fits the description. Let's say it says the description. So we'll see. Probably later this week we're gonna know. Are we going lower? Because since we are still resting in the upper section of this support zone, I must remain bullish. If we go down here and we are bouncing off this zone, right? We are struggling to get back into it or dominate it and get back above it. I cannot be bearish. When we are the wrong side of the fence, then you'll definitely hear me switching narratives, right? But that's not now. That's not now, and I don't think that's going to happen. And I know it's very annoying and difficult to be experiencing what the crypto market is doing now is very super annoying. I admit it. But that's its function. That's its function. Its function is to shake out as many people as possible before it starts railing, because bull hates to be ridden. Remember that sentence. That's one of the most real truths about trading you can hear. Oh yeah, my ICP trade is still in place. Let me take a look at it. It's even recovering after this initial reduction. Let's see, it's doing quite well. It's doing quite well. Maybe it's going to go for its all-time high. By the way, I'm not talking about ICP going for all-time high. I'm talking about this trade going for its all-time high, because so far at highest point it was here. So that was its all-time highs. So maybe we are going to ascend higher. That's if the selling pressure already dissipates and we are done correcting, then yeah, probably within the next few hours happen. So it's in plus 21.74% as of now. Yeah, not that bad. Trump coin is also doing quite well, and I have a trade in it. It's plus almost 23%. So it's trying to hold its ground here around 740, as you see. So if I'm right, it's going to go much higher than this. But yeah, but still, I think the best trade you can find on the whole of internet is Hitech, which is my meme coin, because the market, the size of its market is very, very small. I just started to, as you probably already know, I started to airdrop small amounts here and there, so that's why holders amount has increased. The number of holders